Hi, I'm Chan.
Hi, I'm Yo.
And this is
MUMxiety.
Welcome back. Have you guys watched, for the Singaporeans, maybe non-Singaporeans too, have you guys watched like 小孩不笨? I'm not stupid, sir. I'm not stupid.
Yes. The first one.
The first one, right? Is it the first one?
The first one.
Yeah, the mom has a catchphrase. She always say,
This is for your
own good. So today we are going to talk about whether is it really for your own good whenever like parents tell you to do certain things, and we as parents we will ask our kids to do certain things also. So is it really for their own good?
What is good? Can we first define good?
I don't know, like 不犯法就好了。
Like, to be fair honest, your parents got say this to you before, not this like.
What is good? 乖哦，听话咯。
But your parents got say for your own good before, not?
Never never ever.
Good for you.
You always This one high sense problem, I think.
You know, I don't think it's a high sense problem.
No way.
I really don't think.
Oh, because my parents don't speak English. They'll never say for your own good.
No way, but as in, I don't know. You know, it's a kind where I don't know if their parents were like that to them also, but maybe they just felt like they know more, they know better.
我吃盐比你吃米多。
Wow, yeah. Okay,
Always,
they've
yeah.
never said that lah, but like it just feels like because they've been through it, and I mean maybe there are some things that there is some truth to what they say. Cause you know, like last time, my parents always said like I hated studying right in school. I mean we all hate studying. Who likes studying? Then my parents will tell you, actually, your schooling life is the best time of your life.
And it's true.
Yeah, and at that point in time, you really cannot understand what they meant by that. They're like, schooling time will be the best time of your life. Then you're like, lies. Cause I mean, that was the hardest thing we knew, and it really no one liked it. What? I mean,
No, being a baby is the best time of your life.
that's true lah, but you cannot remember what.
Toddlerhood.
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember very much of it. Like, it's not memory that I could remember. It's like input memory. Like what my cousins and I like to say. Anything before you actually start primary school, it's all input memory.
Ooh.
Like, people tell you this happened. Or you saw photos of it happening.
No, but I remember certain things.
I mean, yeah lah, I guess lah. But so you don't really, like, at least for me, I don't really fully understand how life was for me as a toddler. I mean, I do remember maybe when I was like 5, 6 years old.
Mhm.
Like, I remember playing with my cousins and things like that. And like, school didn't really matter because like there was no such thing as homework and things like that lah. And even tuition, you're like, tuition.
Tuition.
And even tuition, you're like, it's not exactly, there might be homework, but you go with friends and like relatives and it's not so bad. So there are things like that. But honestly, while we were going through school and our parents told us that our school, like these studying years would be the best time of your life, and we was just like, yeah, you lie, right? Now that we're older, we realize that actually made sense. Like,
Yes.
working adulting.
Not so bad lah. At least got money. Study where got money.
Yeah, that's so then we
They
just,
have bursary. Oh, sorry, high sense don't understand.
I was about to say bursary 是什么?
Yeah, you see, I knew it. Don't know, right?
Hey, don't like that. I got a good progress award one last time.
Got money eh?
Have.
Good progress got money.
Have.
I didn't know about
No,
that.
the only way I got good progress award, right? It's not because I did exceptionally well, but it's because I did exceptionally for majority of my school life. Then when one time you do well, right, then you qualify for the course got difference.
But scholarship got more money eh.
That's true lah, but
I bet you do not know.
as in I guess I am lucky. I don't think I'm privileged in that sense, but I've been lucky to have enough.
You're comfortable.
Yes, where like my parents had enough to provide lah. Like we didn't have to apply for scholarships and things like that, and like I didn't have to worry about things like that. Or like maybe I don't have money to go to school because like, I mean, sometimes you read stories about people not being able to go to school unless they look for scholarships, like what's available, or like own self go out and work and afford school and things like that. And yeah, I mean, I acknowledge that I'm very lucky in the sense that I've never had to worry about that.
But is it really lucky, Because it's like, I think a lot of very typical Asian parents, right? They'll be like, 我养你这么大，我 like, you know, like they fund you and everything. Then they would expect you to really listen to them for many things. Like in almost all the aspects of your life, you gotta follow their directions.
So I think I realize that now that I'm an adult, right? Like this thing haunts me a bit. Like I've come to realize that I think my parents expect me to listen to them.
Right.
But I have come to realize that it's not entirely true.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've spoken about my brother a few times, and my brother and I live vastly different lives now. My brother was always the one that, I mean, honestly, we are both very thankful for what we've had growing up. But I think my brother was always the one that didn't care what was expected of him. Not that he didn't care, he was just like, if it doesn't better my life and like you don't tell me explicitly, I don't care. I'm not gonna assume that you want me to do it. Meanwhile, I don't know if it's an older daughter thing, but like oldest child, oldest daughter thing, where you just feel like, what do they expect of me? Do they expect me to do this and that? Do they expect me to like behave in a certain way?
So is it like your own expectation or their expectation?
I mean, for me growing up, honestly, I never fought after a while, because I realized that no matter how much I fought, my parents will always come back with the line, we know better. Or like, it really it is for your own good. Like, you may not see it now, but it will end up being better for you in future.
But are you seeing it now, like as an adult? Have you?
Yes and no lah, honestly. Like, I've spoken about it before, like how my parents always said, just choose all your science streams. Like, you are a science student, choose the science streams. And now that I'm a much older adult and I understand how I think and how I work, I realized then that I was just a very good kid at practicing if I had to practice lah. So like, that's why my parents made me choose science. Not cause I was better at it, but cause you could score if you could practice. It's like a checkbox for science subjects.
Oh, it's easier to score lah. They
Correct.
want you to pass better, like easier.
It's just you to do better lah, right? As compared to if it's an art subject, your answers are always very subjective. Your teacher can tell you this is the scoring system, like how you generally get scored. But art subjects, honestly, are a lot
If they
more
don't
abstract.
appreciate, then
Correct, a lot more abstract one ma. Be it history, lit, geog, or that. I mean, I'm not a geog person, so like history and lit, right? But so there was that lah. So yes and no, I feel. Like growing up, I never really had a choice on what schools I went to be very honest. Primary schools, my parents chose for me. Secondary school, I expressed where I wanted to go. But I ended up going into a school that I did not choose. My mother chose. And my mother pulled some strings for me to get there. So it's like I didn't even get in based on fully my own merit. And I went there. And then halfway through, the only time that I didn't have to go along with her desires was halfway through when she wanted to change my secondary school. And I said no. And that was the only time I managed to like do what I wanted. By the time I went to JC,
Sure.
I mean, I'm glad that I didn't have to end up changing schools, in secondary school at least. So that was one thing that like I didn't have to listen to the we know better. You will know eventually whether it's better or not for you. And then for JC, I had to go with what they wanted. I truly hated it. Like, it was a terrible decision.
what do you have to though? Why is it like you have to go with what they wanted?
I mean, I guess I never had the balls to like, I mean, all the forms is we own self submit one, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I just never had the balls to like submit something else. You know what I mean? Like, I scared like eventually when they find out it will come back and like I die again. So it was always like, you need to go here. And I was like, I don't want. But
But you have if you have a valid reason, like, will they still insist on their way, or have you even tried?
No, I swear I've tried before. But the thing is, I mean, I don't know what my reasons were anymore lah. Now that it's like 30 years past already, right? But like, to me, they felt valid at that point in time. But they were never good enough for my parents. You know what I mean?
You tried telling them lah. Not
I
like,
expect-
我的 best friend 去那边
No, it was
!walao
never.
eh.
So in fact, the only time that I didn't want to change schools was because I said, my friends are here. Why do I want to change in the middle of 4
Then they
years?
agree lah.
And they felt like, okay, let's not uproot you in the middle of 4 years.
什么来的?
Yeah.
That's weird though.
But like anything else, like a preference or like I just like, I think my parents also were the kind of, they thought that I needed pushing to do better. I'm not the kind of person that 会自动自发 and would do well. They felt like, need to push me a bit, then I'll do better. Push me a bit, then I'll do better. And so, if I chose a school that wasn't as good as maybe what my grades would let me
You just
pursue,
like 划水, like
like I want
relax.
to be a big fish in a small pond. I want to be a small fish. I want to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. You know what I mean?
Last time I got this secondary school classmate, right? Not friend, we hated this person. Like halfway through, he transferred to like my very humble neighborhood school. then right, every day, right, he keeps telling us like, oh, I hate this school. I hate you guys. He keeps telling us, and then he say, because I am a big fish in the small pond.
Okay, no. So I don't come from it in that kind of like, I want to do better than other people kind of way. But it's
No, but
more
in the
of
end, this guy also never do very good.
yeah, but it's more of a, I don't like being the small fish in a big pond because then like, I never feel like I'm enough. I always feel inadequate.
Oh, confidence problem.
And then I already got confidence problem. Don't need to add on to it. Okay. So like it doesn't help. And also like my JC experience wasn't great because I ended up going to a school where everybody was like damn fucking smart, right? And then I am the kind of kid that doesn't do homework. Like throughout my secondary school days, I also don't do homework. But I eventually did well because I eventually found myself. And right before O-levels, I was like, need to get my shit together. And I got my shit together on my own. Honestly, my teachers never really helped very much. My teachers, in all respect to them, they gave me the space to do what I needed to do. They every day nag at me for not doing homework, but eventually they were really like every parent teacher meeting every term my parents need to go on. Because our parent teacher meeting is not every parent need to go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's only the problematic kids, then the parents need to go.
Correct.
Then my parents quite poor thing because my brother's school and my school were opposite each other, and our parent teacher meeting is always on the same day because it's always on the last day of the term, right?
Yeah.
Then our parents freaking busy. Like it's either they need to alternate or they need to even split themselves up because both of them need to go to see both our teachers.
But why? Like,
because we both don't do homework in school one. We feel like, not that we feel like school is beneath us, but we're like, I'm just a person that don't like to do homework. I've talked about this before. Like,
yes.
I'm a 上课 like 回家做什么功课
work-life balance since school days.
Student also needs student life balance kind
But
of.
look at yourself now. Are you having work-life balance?
Better than last time, honestly.
Those listening, ask yourself.
Yeah, so like, I don't like to do homework. My brother is a bit, because my brother very smart. So my brother's more the kind of like, this homework doesn't benefit me. I'm not going to waste my time. Then he would rather I just play computer game because at least it's fun. That is a benefit to me. As compared to homework, it's like, I don't learn extra, I don't do extra. It's just for you to grade how much I know that I do for what. Which actually, he's quite forward thinking for his age.
Yeah, he's very forward thinking.
Yeah, he's like, at
That's
least
a valid reason.
at
though.
least having fun benefits me. Because
That's a
I
valid
have
reason.
fun. So then just play game.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. Very valid.
Both of us, our parents had to go and see our teachers all the time. And so I'm not that kind. So when I had to, they insisted I go to a particular JC as compared to the JC I wanted to go to. Because they felt like, the JC I wanted to go to, honestly, is like, with my grades, I don't even need to think I sure can go one. But it was just more of a like friends, and also like, I still want to study so hard lah, okay? Like just let me do on averagely well generally, and then like finish the 2 years kind of thing. And I ended up going to another JC that I really didn't want to, and I really didn't like it there because while I was there, everybody else, I mean everyone was smart, right? Everyone went in with very good grades, but they were also the kind that I have good grades and I need to keep it up. Right, it's not one of those cool schools where the smart people are also cool. The smart people are truly nerds, okay? Like it's like, it was like stressful, and so I didn't like it because the teachers there also honestly weren't great lah. And they were the kind like, if you are problematic, it's your problem. If you don't understand my lesson, it's you. It's not that I'm a bad teacher, but honestly, you are a terrible teacher. And like I used to tell my parents that the teacher was terrible, and they're like, no lah, teachers have their own problem, they have their own culture. It's not like they are me or whatever. And then got one time they met my teacher at a parent teacher meeting and came back, and my father in confidence told me, yeah, your teacher's weird. He don't dare like say
Certified.
Yeah, don't dare like try and like, generally parents need to have a united front, so they cannot always be like the kid is always right. But in confidence my dad was like, yeah, your teacher really quite problematic. I was like, I tell you, how don't listen to me?
Teacher also 人来的嘛. So I mean like they can't be so perfect like they think. Yeah.
I'm not asking him to be perfect.
I mean they need to own self check own self.
Yes, I'm asking him to not be an asshole. He was the kind of person that he was my math teacher.
Shout out whoever you are. Some don't know what JC.
He was my math teacher. He was the kind of person that he will make me stand up and ask me to answer the question. So I look at him and tell him, I don't know how to do. I really don't know how to do. Then he look at me, okay, you keep standing for the rest of the class until you figure out how to do.
Oh my god, I got this teacher, right?
I'm like, brother, if I don't know how to do, at the end of the class I still don't know how to do, right?
I got this secondary school teacher. He passed away already. Sorry.
I don't know if my
I mean like respect to him, but then right, what he did was he bring a hula hoop to class. And then he will ask everybody to answer question like that also. Like that, right? If you can't answer, right, then he say, squat down there. Go there. And then you squat within the hula hoop. Like, what the hell? Then you end up half the class inside the hula hoop. They're all laughing there.
So mine is, so he made me stand up throughout the rest of the class and say, you stand the whole class.
For
At
what?
the end of the class, I ask you again. I'm just like, you ask me in the class, I also don't know how to do
Yeah.
what. It's not a matter of I lazy to do or I I know the concept, I'm just lazy to do through the sums and I just say I don't know how to do. No. I tell you now, I don't even understand the question. I don't even know how to do it.
You don't understand these people.
Then he says stand.
This standing can benefit.
Then he asked me stand, right? So I stand long. Then after that, I stand until halfway through the class, right? So he asked me, can you do the question now? Him, no. Then honestly, a few classes were like that one. So like halfway through, still don't know, right? He asked me stand outside the class. Asked me take my table, go outside the classroom.
Isn't it worse? Like
exactly. Like how would I know? How would I ever understand? Just because the class of 20 something other students understand the class. Okay, it's not everybody lah, but just because majority of the rest of the class understand the class and know what you're talking about, that doesn't mean that the other people who don't understand is their problem. But
yeah, I never understood this. Like, cannot answer question. You stand outside. Stand outside for what?
How
that
suddenly
person
got
more
灵感
deprived.
to-
The person more deprived of like actual time to learn, and then like more deprived. So they will get worse. What?
But this teacher also a bit terrible one. Cause my class, it was a science class, right? So of like 20 something students, it was 2/3 guys, 1/3 girls only, a few girls, and the girls all very quiet one. So the rebellious girls, right, was only me and another girl. But the other girl is rebellious in the way she just sleep. She sleep the whole time one. Like she doesn't talk back to the teacher, but she just sleep. But she's smart. So sometimes when he asks questions, she still knows. So he doesn't come down on her as much. So I always get the brunt of it. I don't care. But he's a very old fashioned teacher if you ask me, because he's very 重男轻女 also. Because there are some guys that do the same. Like they also, and he said, okay, then I cannot already, so I stand. He asked another guy answer. Same thing. Guy also say don't know. Okay, you stand. Halfway through they can like talk and laugh one. And then the guy like gets off fine and I still like stuck standing. I'm just like, bro. Not like that guy got answer the question, right? So I'd be like, yeah. So that sometimes I think when my parents, I feel like when my parents look back on my JC days, I don't know if they feel bad, but I think they've come to acknowledge that I really didn't have a good time. And I think it might have been, in hindsight, one of the things that they feel like maybe we shouldn't have come down so hard on you will understand next time. Like, it's for your own good, just go and do it now. But it's just always been like that lor. Like a lot of my decisions growing up.
So when you watch like I'm Not Stupid, right? Do you feel like related?
When I watched it the first time, though, I was like, wow, our life the same. But because at that point of time, we were in primary school, secondary school, primary school.
Yeah, I think so. Around there, we around same age, what actually.
Yeah, so I think we were in primary school then, and at that point in time, because they're talking about primary school kids, to us all it felt like was a bit like we felt a bit seen, because like we go through this as well, or you see it happening to friends and in school or like your family. And when we first watched it, I think that's all we felt. But I think now that I watch it again as an adult, 心酸 a bit. You feel like, as an adult, you can also acknowledge that it's your parents' first time being a parent.
Yeah,
we've talked
correct.
about this before. Like,
Yes.
because they've gone through it, they think that they know better. But like, they also don't recognize that they are them and we are us. Like, we are also entirely different people.
So I think like a lot of parents who does that, right? They seem to be unable to differentiate. They behave like babies, you know, like how babies cannot differentiate that the mother and them are two different things already.
But I think sometimes I feel like
is their separation, like is their way of coping with separation anxiety because they're scared.
Because their parents were never like that for them.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
either
generally
that
for us,
or that is the only way they know. Means they have gone through it or they haven't gotten it.
Yeah, so I think for us, especially our parents who are like that, I sometimes think that a lot of times it's because their parents weren't like that for them. And so they want to make sure we don't have to go through the same thing. So they try and go a different way. Like, I know better, I will provide for you, I will tell you what you need to do, because no one did that for me and I had to learn it the hard way.
But is that really what the kid wants?
Yeah.
So that is the question.
Which is really sometimes, I feel like, honestly, I'm not a parent.
Let me, a parent, learn. How can a parent do better in this way?
Okay, let me take my personal experience. I'm not a parent, right? And I don't think I will ever be a parent. But if I ever were to, like, there was one thing I could take from my parents parenting me and how I think it's better for you to parent somebody else. Again, personal experience. I'm not advocating for anything. You listen, you like it, take it. Don't like, never mind. Okay?
You listen and you better don't judge.
You want to judge, okay, just don't tell me. But I think one of the ways is really that, yes, you can try and do it in a way. You can always try, and as all parents do, you will want to protect your child. But first things first, I think, teach your child how to fish. Don't give them the fish. Eventually, as much as you want to parent them and provide everything for them and make all the decisions for them so that they don't have to get injured, there will come a day that they will need to do it on their own. If you just give them the fish and tell them this is what you should do, this is how you get there. I mean, you don't tell them this how you, it's like you get there, this you will get, and that kind of thing. Eventually, they won't know how to get there.
And it might not be the fish that they want to eat.
And that is another thing. Yeah. So first things first, you want to provide, yes. But also teach your kids how to make the decisions, how to know right from wrong. I think these things are more important than just telling them what is right or wrong.
Like giving directions.
Correct. Like even right or wrong, yes, you need to teach your child. But like tell them how to differentiate, how to make the decision themselves on what is right, what is wrong, how they can go about things. So teach them how to fish instead of giving them the fish. Again, you have the other problem where you give them the kuning and that's not what they want. They want the pomfrey. Right? Right? So that is where you need to teach them how to fish so they can go and get the fish they want.
Yeah, then they go and choose lah. You want, then you go and choose
right?
lah.
And eventually, if then they end up taking the 烂鱼, then they chose it.
It's on them.
So then they also learn how to deal with the failure. Because I think a lot of us also, when our parents do so much for us, right, and we end up failing, we don't know how to deal with that failure because we are not used to facing it. Right?
I don't know, man. I don't grow up this way, but
I never grew up this way too. Like
I know, man.
My parents also let me fall down. My father, in fact, will still say, "I told you so."
My parents just
叫
let
你
me
不要了.
let me go like.
But he will then pick you up later lah and say, "Okay, I sayang you now, but I will tell you, don't be stupid." Right?
Ooh.
So that was the kind of thing I had. Like you were still allowed to fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think when I did badly in exams, I didn't fear so much the coming home and my parents scolding me.
Yeah, I have seen
Yes, I think
classmates.
a lot of people, like, you watch your High Pooper and you get that too. Like,
yeah,
you
the
go home
98
with a-
marks then cry.
Okay, 98 cry is a stupid.
Wait, I really have a classmate like that, and he was like bawling his eyes out. Everybody said, what happened? Because it's like the first, second in class, right? She's crying. I think only primary 2 leh. She crying. I remember I remember very clearly.
Thought someone at home died.
Yeah, everybody thought he failed because he cried and do like that. And then, I mean like primary 2, right? How difficult can everything get, right? He was so crying, and then after he said, "Mommy 一定会骂我." Then we like, what happened? Then look at his paper, blood 98 over 100. Cry. The 60 mark person still laughing there, walking around, say, "Yay, I passed." What the?
So I think I was allowed to. I never feared having to go home and like I need my parents to sign my report card and like the results are shit. Although I think I have a vague memory of me forging my parents' signature before lah. So like maybe I also got scared lah. But like it wasn't scarring to that extent. And like I was allowed to fail and know that there were no big repercussions that would come. Or like it won't be like 我自己过不了自己那一关 cause like I fail, I lose, that kind of thing. But when I engage or like play with some of my friends' kids now, or like my partner's friends' kids, and you see some of them who really cannot fail. They are only 3, 4, and they cannot lose. Like a 4-year-old is playing Monopoly with 3 adults. So it's just one 4-year-old with 3 adults playing Monopoly, and she expects to win.
And then never win and angry.
Like, sis, you okay? Like people keep texting her cause she keep landing on their property. She angry cause her money less and less. Like sis, you okay? Huh? You play with 3 adults,
Because every time
you don't even know how to build house and hotel, You just buy, do. Then like you build. Like you don't know what you're building also,
every time the parents will just let them win, right?
Exactly.
That's
Because
why.
as we are doing that, right, the father got say, "Aiya, in the end you also must let her win one. You don't let her win later, she will go crazy." I'm just like, this is why kids don't understand. Like, it's a game and you won't always win in life. It's not just games, Like, eventually now we are adults at work and things like that. Like, you won't.
Why you reject my proposal? This is not supposed to happen.
It's
Why you don't want to be my girlfriend? I kill you.
I hate you.
That kind. That kind.
Yeah,
That's why got kiss your people around.
there's so much of these things, right? And so if you don't teach your kid to learn how to come back from these failures,
They'll kiss you.
they really will. They don't know how to be a normal functioning member of
Yeah.
society.
People say, no, we don't have fries today. Why you don't have fries? You know the crazy people we get. Must be these kind of people, okay? Your parents every time, okay, 不用紧. Then ask, you got this don't know what random thing. We don't have Then kisha why you don't have?
It's the
What do you
same
mean,
kind of
why?
people. It's the same kind of people that go to KFC and ask for Coke. Then they say sorry, we only got Pepsi. Why you got no Coke?
Yeah, why you don't
You want to go and talk to
Okay, no.
the parent company?
Yeah.
I just serve what they order lah, right?
nonsense, yeah.
You come to KFC asking for Coke, you go and you see lah.
Yeah lah. Like why you don't have? Because I want to drink, so you must have. This kind of nonsense mindset needs to come on lah. Oh.
Yeah, so I think that is one. Like, teach a child fish, teach them how to come back from failure
Mm-hmm.
and not just melt down and die.
And understand them actually. Like sometimes they give you certain reasons, like a bit weird, right? You don't
I
know what they want to do.
Understanding is the next level. I think first, listen.
Yeah, listen.
Yes. I mean, you don't always have to understand what your kid wants. Sometimes there are requests, right? Really also them stupid one. You don't need to
Funny lor.
understand one.
It's like 我听到了，我不同意，但是我听到了。
Yes. So
But I respect it.
I think listening is more important, right?
Mhm.
And listening and showing that you acknowledge that they can
Acknowledge.
have that they can have their own thoughts.
Even though you don't necessarily
Yeah,
will
you
do
might
the
not
same
agree.
step.
You might not agree with
Yeah.
them. You might not understand why they come to this conclusion. And you honestly, you as the adult in a parent-child relationship might come in and say, "I know better,"
Mm-hmm.
or like even sometimes like my father say, "I told you so," right?
Yeah.
But listen and acknowledge because they are their own human beings as well.
As long as it's not life threatening,
Yes,
I feel.
Yes, as long as it's not like I want to go and jump down the building.
Yeah, that is life threatening.
Then okay, yes,
Or like, I
you-
want to take the knife and stab you, mama. Like, no lah, of course, no thank you.
Yeah, but like, and honestly, right, I don't know if this is a hot take, but sometimes even if you know that what they want to choose to do might end up
Hurting
in
them.
failure or like it's a mistake, they might be disappointed and upset. Just let them do ah.
Yeah, this is a hot take and I believe I agree with you, my friend.
Honestly, to me, it's like, what is wrong?
Yeah,
with-
like my girl also like that one ah. Run there, say 地上湿湿不要跑啊. Then want to run there lor, very happy run there. Then later sleep for a bang.
I told you so.
Yeah, I mean like yes, it's time for I told you so, but you can say it with a laughter on your face. Like,
Yeah.
you fall down, man. Well, what did we say? Are you gonna go there again? Then they will learn, and they
Yeah.
will learn not to go there.
Correct, because sometimes the best way to learn is, and honestly, when everything comes top down, right? Like every time is my parents tell me, you're like, honestly, as kids who have listened to that, you or sometimes 不服 one. You really is 不服.
And you want to try
Yes.
even more.
It's the people tell you cannot, you even more want
Yes,
to try.
你就是这样子 like
Just let them go and try lor.
your curiosity is just like 为什么不可以?
Let them go and try because if the outcome is just them scraping their knee, if the outcome is them getting a balaku on their forehead, it's a much greater lesson for them to learn now,
Then next time jump down the building and then like really just
Right.
bye bye.
right? So I mean, like I said, I guess maybe this might be a hot take, but really, just let them go and make their mistakes lah. And then that's how you also teach them how to stand up again, lor.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, this is like, you know, 人生是很残忍的. It's either 不是你自己对你自己残忍，
就是别人对你残忍。
还是社会对你残忍。
唉
Really, you can only choose these only. Mm-hmm.
I mean, life is life lah. Someone will bring you down.
Yeah.
If other people don't bring you down, you also will bring yourself down. One.
But having said that, not the abusive kind of bring you down.
Ah, yeah lah.
Not the everyday say, 哇，你很丑啦，你很笨啦，你
Okay,
什么
that
都不会. Okay, that's another
Get
thing.
out.
already.
Okay, that one.
No,
Get
no,
out.
no. We don't stand for that. Okay,
No.
we do not.
It's 2025. Get out.
Yes, we don't stand for that. That is, wow, that cannot.
Don't need to stay in abusive relationships. No one's going to give you an award for it. Okay.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Like even as parents, please, y'all think about it before you use these kind of terms on your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have a lasting effect on them.
Yes.
Maybe like 20 years later, you won't remember what you actually told your kid. Like
But
when
your
she,
kid will remember.
yeah, when she spilled that bowl of cereal.
I'll tell you now. I am 30 something.
You remember, right?
I remember things that my parents tell me when I was in primary school and in
Right.
secondary school because I really frustrated them and they just said things without going through their brain.
That's right.
I still remember.
Yes.
Now as an adult, I can recognize that they really didn't think it through and it's 气头上的话. But does it still hurt
Yes.
when I think of it now when I'm 30 something and starting my own healing journey? Yes, it still hurts.
The
The
hurt
fact
never
that
go away one.
these thoughts even cross their mind. I mean, cross your mind 就算了.
You even say it
Cross
out.
until
You
come out.
can tarik one. Like when you can tarik, you don't want tarik.
Then you're just like, okay, no, that's all I'm worth.
You can
And
just,
you can say sorry later. You can be like, it was just the heat of the moment. I didn't mean it and things like that.
Mhm.
But 讲出的话像泼出去的水，收不回来的。
收不回来的。so like as adults, right? We as adults, we should be exercising a lot more self-control when it comes to words.
Yes.
Especially when you are feeling unkind. You want to say unkind things to people.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to think through before you just hold your tongue.
That's really true. Honestly, being kind is free lah. Like we all can do with a bit more kindness now and a bit more grace.
Especially to your own kid.
That's the thing, sometimes
you have so much love, but you have no kindness. What is this?
But sometimes I realize that, right? I know of people who have kindness for everybody, right?
Not their kids.
But their own kids.
Yeah, so weird, or their own loved ones. Like, they only show the worst parts to their loved ones.
Yes. But to everybody else, they're the nicest people.
Yes, and that's super weird. I don't understand lah, because I'm just mean to everybody.
I would say, mom. I'm not kind. I wish I was, but like, as in, I think sometimes, okay, no, I'm the kind of person, like, I see old people, right, I cannot. I will get them upset one. Like, when I see old people, old couples, I also will, like, want to cry, because it's, like, a very nice picture. But, like, old people...
GTLL.
Yeah, a bit GTLL. But, like, old people in general, even... I see one old uncle or one old lady sitting in the hawker centre.
You cannot go Chinatown.
Eating by themselves, right? Damn sad. The thing is, you never know. They could have like a great family behind them. They just come out want to eat chicken rice.
Yeah lah. Some people just want to be alone.
I cannot. I see them like that. I was sad one.
Maybe the family too noisy.
Yeah, right. So I cannot. I will feel like that. So like in a sense, like yes lah. But I feel like personally, and I know myself, I have a lot less grace and like kindness for
loved ones.
People. Not say loved ones, but I think people around our age.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, like I understand what you're going through, but maybe because I generally, you all know me, like I have a bit high expectations for a lot of things and a lot of people. So, and I just feel like
Virgo.
It's not difficult what you cannot do, or like yes, it's hard to control and bring up a child, yes, but minimally be able to control your child in public. Like your child 会听话，你叫他安静，他会安静。叫他放下，他会放下 without throwing a fit.
If not, 回家 bye bye.
Like that's fine, right? I mean, not that I don't care how you treat your child at home, whatever, right? But when you're outside, I read this article recently only about how it was one of those like we cannot stand kids on planes and stuff like that. And then it was a parent saying that they are also humans, like. You should just learn how to deal with them. No, we are not.
Right? We don't have an issue with the kids. We have issue with the parents letting everything spiral out of control.
And so the phrase that I remember that struck very hard with me is that I can choose a child-free lifestyle for myself, but I acknowledge that I will never have a child-free environment, right? And the thing is that I am not upset with children in the environment. I am upset at children who cannot behave because they weren't taught how to by the adults.
Yeah, I brought my kid on the plane. I'm very, very thankful. Like both trips were smooth because people around us were super nice.
Yeah, so
even though she was crying lah.
And the thing is, generally it's amplified in the plane because everyone is stuck in there for.
And it's very noisy and it's
very close,
echoey and stuff, right?
But the thing is, even when you go out to eat, like just recently, this happens all the time now. Okay, I have so many stories that I don't even want to like. I don't need to say like when it happened, right? But the other day we were at a hotel with my partner's family having like a nice brunch to celebrate a birthday. After that, eat halfway, right? You constantly your meal is just peppered from the behind table. Then after that, you turn around and the kid is just screaming because he doesn't get the food he wants, doesn't get the iPad. Basically, whatever the kid wants and the parents don't want to give, the kid just acts out.
I'm sorry, now my daughter it's in this phrase. So she acts out. Like recently, keep acting out, keep screaming, nonsense, keep screaming, damn annoying.
And so I think back to how I was as a child, right? And I've asked my parents this before because I realized that I have very low tolerance for this kind of thing. And so sometimes you would think, is it because I was like that? Is it because I was a burden to somebody else and someone said this to me? Or like, what happened? Why am I like so 烦躁 when I come across things like and I really blame the parents when the kids cannot behave on it. Like, I would. And but also because a lot of the times, when the kids misbehave or scream out, right? It's when that happens and you look across, right? The parent is not doing anything.
Yeah, that is what makes people frustrated.
Is trying, right? Or like at least trying to put the kid in place, trying to pacify the kid, trying to be like, behave. You still can give them a bit of like, okay, you're figuring this out.
Yeah, I have been in the parents' shoe. So sometimes, yes, they act out, yes, they do, but it's up to the parents, like, how they manage the situation. So if they decide to like, 走了回家 or like pluck the kid out and go to somewhere else so you don't disturb the peace of the rest of the diners or like whoever is around the area, then people around you are more tolerant to
A
this
bit more,
behavior.
yes. I mean,
They will understand
yes.
like you are trying, but
Yeah.
the kid is not stopping.
correct. As compared to the parents that do nothing.
Yeah,
And
I've seen parents who just like continue eating
I want
their
to throw my
food.
chopstick at their head. I
And-
really want to throw. The thing is, right, it's gone to the extent before, right, that the parents are doing nothing, right, and then I stare at the child and the child shuts up.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it
yeah, my
happens.
RBF a bit jialat lah, okay, so I just put it out there lah. But I really was, I mean, I know it's not my child or anything, but if you don't behave and you're being a nuisance to everybody, then I feel like everyone has the right to put you in your place.
That's fine. That's why me as a parent, I feel like okay, if my girl is not shutting up, somebody stare her to silence, right? I'll be like, thank you very much.
It's like how when I introduce my dog to like my friends' dogs, right? And they're like, I scared that my dog is too rough with your dog and things like that, right? Because my dog is still young and like playful and the rest are all like adult dogs, right? Then I'm like, no, it's okay. Honestly, as long as they are not aggressive, right? And they are just playing and then their dog puts my dog in place, like learn how to behave with other dogs, right? I'm fine. Because my dog cannot learn manners from me.
Yeah,
She can learn from another dog.
Yeah, right.
I'm fine. They can communicate, right? Bitch, go.
I'm quite sure for like having dogs, right? You also face the same issue. Like your dog suddenly like go wild somewhere. Maybe not so much in like a confined area, but rather
Have all the time.
maybe
I
like
just
park
went
or
to Pet
something.
Expo yesterday. There
Oh,
were many
yeah.
dogs there. And we are still in the phase where so dogs reactivity, like there are dogs that like to go and meet people, there are dogs that like to meet dogs and like say hi to everybody and everything, right? And so my dog has come to a stage where she is fine with human beings. Like yes, there will be the days that she's excited and wants to say hi, but if we redirect her or we just move her along, right, there are days when she doesn't go and lunge at them, or even she can just walk past and don't care about them. And but these are for human beings. She's still at the stage where she needs to say hi to every dog she sees.
so cute
But we are working on that because not every dog wants to be your friend.
Okay.
Right? Like you need to she needs to also learn some self-restraint where you also sit and don't move until we make sure that dog is okay. Because there are dogs that are reactive dogs, there are dogs that are aggressive dogs, and they also have the right to walk, right? So you also need to check they are okay, then you all can go and say hi, ma. So she's still at the stage where she needs to say hi to every dog. And when she's not allowed to make dog to like go and say hi to the dog, right, she'll start whining and jumping and shut up. So we're working on that. And so sometimes I'll be a bit scared to bring her to places like Pet Expo and things like that because there are a lot of dogs. I cannot control how people engage with their dog. I cannot control how people just let their dog run. I only can control my own dog, who I technically cannot even control all the time also. Because sometimes she keeps out, that's it, right? She can listen to me like 80% of the time now. But in that 20% that she is just gone, right? That's it. I can only physically grab her and walk out.
But actually, out of curiosity, right, how do you guys as parents know how your dogs want to be loved? What is their love language? How do you know? They cannot speak, what?
I think generally for dogs, and they are very independent dogs and things like that. But I think generally for them, for dogs, they are because dogs are pack animals, right? So they would definitely benefit from having another person around, another dog around, that kind of thing. So a lot of like communal time together. Of course, each dog then has its own, like, it can be a very clingy dog, very like likes cuddles and doesn't like, and you figure out as you spend time together, I feel. Like you just read their body language. Because honestly, dogs are very expressive animals. If they don't like it, you will know.
Oh, so it's quite straightforward, like
Yeah, like you touch the dog, they don't want you to touch, they run. Right? They don't want you to touch, they bite your hand. Right? That kind of thing. So
okay.
So you just need to be a bit more sensitive and like read the body language. I think a lot of times people end up getting like mauled by dogs and things like that. There are random attacks, yes, those happen, or there are like the more aggressive breed dogs that there's a whole different story, right? But there are random attacks of like my kind of dog, Cavapoo, who like gets like bitten by other people because you just think, so cute, I want to touch. Then I'm like, my dog's not ready for you to touch her. So like give her space first. She warm up to you, then you can do whatever you want. Which is the same as a kid, you cannot go into a house at a family gathering and suddenly just like hi and expect the kid to be fine.
Oh,
with
you'd be
you.
surprised.
I mean, I say this all the time with my niece, and I look at my aunts and how they deal with my niece. So like 2 generations apart, and a lot of times I always judge my aunts, but I cannot say anything because they are my aunts, right? But it really is the kind that give the kid space.
Yeah, and also like when the kid, like when you ask the kid, 我可以抱你吗? The kid say no.
Then take it lah.
Then just take no for an answer.
Yeah. But and somehow I don't blame my niece because we are not like she doesn't get to see us every day. Right? Our family gatherings that we all go to sometimes once every 2 weeks, once a month, that kind of thing. So she knows us by name, but she's not necessarily like warm enough to the minute I see you, you are my best friend kind of thing, right? So you need to give her some time to warm up to you also. And I'm the kind of person that I would say hi. I will go up to the kid and say hi. Because like if sometimes I feel like if you don't say hi, the kid will just run away from you and not make the effort to be in your vicinity throughout the day. So I will go and say hi to the kid. But I don't insist that the kid says hi back to me. Right? I mean, last time we all learned, like, our parents will teach us, you must go and say hi to every single adult in the room, that kind of thing. And like, yes lah, I get that you respect and all, but like, I honestly do not care.
Sometimes my girl also, like, she meets like random kopitiam auntie, right? Then the kopitiam auntie, good morning. Then she will like, some days she'll be like very happy, respond back, smile and wave and auntie. Some days she's not feeling it. The auntie says the same thing. She just like does nothing. Just like blank look on the face, look at the auntie. I mean, I don't force her to say anything because she's not in the mood. I'll just explain for her. I'll just tell the auntie like, I'm so sorry, she just woke up or something like that. Or like she's not feeling it. Then most of the adults, they can actually, you know, like understand lah. You know, some kids, you know, you will never know what they're thinking about at that stage. But then again, right, I have seen some parents with young kids, like as young as mine lah. They will force the kid like in these kind of cases, right? So every day she say hi, then the kid say hi back. Then this one fine day, if the kid never say hi back, the mother will, 怎么你这样坏蛋？做你不要跟他讲 hello， 不是你这样子。
As in, and so I acknowledge that there are parents. I've seen parents that make sure their kid says hi to the adults. Right, on my partner's side.
Even if they don't feel like it.
Yeah, as in generally they're okay because they are not the super 内向 kind of kids.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
They do take a while to warm up, yes. But they also are the like us like that, a bit the 乖. Like my parents ask me do, I will go and do. And so she will come up and say hi, right? But again, I don't force her to like play with me. Because again, it's my partner's nieces and nephews. I don't see them as often also, right? And so they do take a while to warm up to me, but eventually when they do, like it's the same thing, I will go and approach and say hi and try and talk to them. But they will like respond then one word, then they walk away. But the thing is, yeah, you know that once they respond one word, right, later they will come back.
Yeah,
so it's not special. So you give them that space to be like, if you want to talk to me and you want to play with me, I will play with you. But I'm not forcing you to do it. But in the same vein, so my own niece, right, like I will go and say hi, and then she won't even say hi to me. And I'm like, okay, bye. I will basically say bye. And I'm like, okay, now you don't have this conversation, then so lah.
Then later on they'll come to you, right?
Later they'll come because usually by the time they're warmed up with other kids in the house and you happen to sit in the area that they're playing with, or the other kids that are more, I wouldn't want to say extrovert, but just a bit more like the not so 内向 kind one, they come and play with you already, right? Suddenly it's like, you are fair game. Like I can play with you also because other people can play with you. You are not a stranger. You are not dangerous. So it's suddenly very easy, right? And so then she'll come and play with me, right? But from the time she arrived in the house to the time she's warmed up to everybody in the house, I've seen before aunts that go up and say, come, let's take a photo. The girl is physically squirming out of your arms and you are holding her in a headlock trying to take a photo.
Yeah, correct.
Like she don't want, then don't want lah.
Some people just don't take no for an answer. Like a lot of people, in fact, the parents also don't take no for an answer from their kids. Like in this sense lah, like the kids say don't want to greet this auntie. No, like today just don't feel like it, right? She's like, maybe she's a bit grumpy. You can explain on their behalf, but instead of explaining on their behalf, you choose to like, 哎呀，她是这样的，她很坏蛋的，她每次这样的。Then how? Then
just say she's not that yet.
I mean, like I like as a parent,
I have explained for a kid before. Like not my own kid. Then the kid back mood. I was like, never mind, she need time to warm up. Then the parents look at me like 尴尬. I'm like, it's fine. You just know your own kid. No one will get offended.
Yeah. So like, do parents really understand their kids? Even if like, I mean, even with like the younger generation, they all like gentle parenting lah. Then they all like, you know, do a bit softer approach for the kids, but I don't think they really understand their kids though. Sometimes
I have a question. Is it because they paiseh? It's like their own ego, like it reflects that they are not
correct. That's possible also. That's possible. It's like 没有教好，没有礼貌，那个孩子没有礼貌。
But I don't think it's a 礼貌不礼貌 thing. I think
people will say people will say, 你孩子没有礼貌, then they feel like, !walao!
I'd rather be the parent. I mean, I am not the parent once again, but I'd rather be the parent that is known for acknowledging my kids' likes and dislikes, preference and not. And I will help acknowledge that too and respect that.
That is what I strive to do lah.
I want to advocate for my child.
Like the spokesperson. Like
I'm trying to advocate for my dog lah. But
if you don't feel like speaking, never mind. Let me explain. Like it's okay to...
Yeah, correct. Yeah. You can have your likes and dislikes. If you really don't like this person, don't like.
Yeah, you are the last line of defense for them. I mean, like next time, if they keep thinking this way, then if some stranger or some, if you like me, like have a daughter, right? Then some guy she don't like, come and touch her. I cannot touch me, walao, touch a bit cannot. Then she'll be, okay, I guess okay.
Yeah.
No right one. So you need to let them know how to say no and acknowledge the no and insist on the no.
And as the last line of defense, I think it's important for your kid to know that you will always have their back.
Yeah, correct.
That whatever happens, they can always come home and you will always help them.
We
and
are the
always
safe
support.
space
Correct.
for them.
And I think that is also very important.
It's little things like this will add up whether the kid will judge you being the safe space or
Yeah.
not. Now, come to think of it, probably our parents weren't so.
I can tell you now, now that I think back, I'm growing up, right? When I got my A-level results and I didn't do as great, I think that was the first time I truly feared letting my parents know. Because after I got my A-level results, right, I turned off my phone and I didn't go home.
I had a lot of things from my parents. Even when I was initially going out with my current husband, I was hiding from my parents because
Yeah.
it felt like the family culture was like, we don't talk about this at all. Then it feels weird, even though I have two sisters. So we totally don't talk about this kind of thing at all. Like having relationship and this and that, we never talk about it. So it doesn't feel normal to talk about it to my parents lah. So I think as parents, like now that I'm a parent, I'd want to talk about a lot of things with my kids so that next time, before anything happens, right, like before she even go out and meet the guy, she tell me first lah. We look at Instagram together lah. Facebook if the guy, Facebook if he even have, like I don't know, are they still using Facebook? I don't know, maybe it's a boomer thing. I do not know. So like at least we go through this together. Then like she may or may not seek my advice, or she just have another pair of eyes to vet for her lor.
But I think in the safe space thing very important lah. Like
Yes, anything happens, like somebody touch her or somebody abuse her, she'll just feel very safe to run back anytime. Like you can fall back on, and we won't judge.
Which is why I think that day you also heard like one of our friends' kids. Like I aim to be that person for my friends' children and for my nieces and nephews. And like I would tell them like, if ever any day you don't want to go home, don't just leave the house. You can come Auntie Yo's house.
Oh yeah.
Right. I will tell your parents that you're with me so they know you're safe. But that's it. Right. If you don't want them to know what we are talking about, we won't talk about it. Right. If you have secrets, you can tell me. I won't tell your parents. But at least then they know that there is someone that they can go back to. Or that they know that will be there to help them.
And it's someone the kid and the parent trust.
Yes. I mean, I hope my friends trust me.
I mean instead of like the girl, right, scared to go back home, right? Like recently, I don't know if you guys watched the news. There's this very famous celebrity Huang Zijiao.
Yes.
He's like, he has like some he's like pedophile, and then he has like a lot of child pornography found on his devices, and then apparently he's like a member of like a high-tiered member in this kind of like syndicates.
Wow.
Yeah, so the kids, right, they don't dare to tell their parents about this. It's only when this case was exposed, then the parents got to know. So the parents, like a lot of them were interviewed by the Taiwanese media, and then they felt like, why? Like, I do not know my kids. Like, my kid's only 10. Why is she enduring all this? Yeah, it's like really very jialat lah, the photos, the videos and whatever. Because the kids were being threatened by these people. These people will pretend to be like those 大哥哥大姐姐. If they're approaching the kid who is a guy, they use 大哥哥 to approach the kid. So they will feel like less how do you say, less weird. Like, and if it's a girl, like a girl, right, they'll use the 大姐姐 to approach the girls because they will feel less weird lah. Yeah, and then they slowly then become friends. Then these people actually behind the accounts, they are like running the syndicate lor. Then they make the kids to take photo whatever. Then started from very small, like nothing out of the line kind, just take selfies. Then eventually when they gain their trust, right, then they ask them to do more explicit things.
Huh?
With their student pass in the picture. I know your face. Yes, then after that, right, they are scared ma, but they don't dare to. And then these people will threaten these kids, saying that, oh, I will send a photo to your parents if you tell them. Or I will send it to your classmates if you tell anybody about this. Then they don't dare leh. They're damn scared.
Okay, parents, please make sure your kids know that this is wrong.
And in the very first place, right, why are they chatting with random strangers online? Because they don't feel safe at home. It's either the parents are always busy at work, or they don't feel safe with sharing their secrets or sharing their life with the parents. So this is where the loophole is, and these syndicates have gotten hold of it, and then like just went ahead with this lah. So yeah lah, very depressing news, right? Very depressing thing to hear. So parents, like, including myself, I was reading about it. I was like, oh my god, so scary. I have a girl. And this one, little boy also, dangerous leh. Guy and girl both kena also. So please, like, build a safe space. Okay, constantly checking with your kid, and try your best to listen. Really try your best. I know not everybody, like, they can't even listen to their own spouse, right? Some people. So I cannot expect them to listen to their kids. So it's a bonus lah if you already know how to listen to your kids. So you can take it to another level to understand their thoughts. That will be a lot better.
Again, you don't have to agree. You don't always have to agree. But I think listening is very important. No matter what you want to say, you first need to listen and properly, truly listen. Not just like, I know, but like,
Yeah, 敷衍他.
Then I think it's easier to have that conversation also.
Yes.
Regardless of what they think and what you then think of what they think.
Yes, if not, they will feel uncomfortable. So like suddenly you have a conversation, like you're not even close, right? And suddenly, like, hey girl, 你有男朋友啊? What the hell? Then she feel like, intrusive, sia. I'm not even close to you. Why are you asking me these kind of personal questions? Yeah. So since the very, very start, for those of you listening, want to establish this kind of relationship, it's not too late. It's never too late to start. So just be very open-minded when you listen, and then be more accepting of anything and everything. Yeah, listen and try not to judge. Like, I know sometimes childish things that you have heard, you can't help but judge. But hold your tongue. If you really hear something like walao eh, you want to walao eh at your kid, you hold your tongue first. Yeah, and then just listen. And then digest a bit. And really think through like what you want to reply them before you just blurt out whatever that can be hurtful. Because it, like you say, right, whatever she heard it in her like primary school days, she can still remember.
It's burned into your brain.
Yes. So I guess in summary, that's all, probably.
Bottom line, listen. Okay? Listening is free.
Yeah, and very important thing, you are the last line of defense for your kid. Yeah, really the last of the last. Okay, if you don't support them, right, I don't know who else will. Maybe the 3 numbers. You want them to go to the 3 numbers? Singaporeans, you know what I'm talking about, right? We don't, right? So
damn.
Yes. If they feel like the 3 numbers are more supportive, they might go to them. And then it's like, too bad, too late. 没有回头路了. How?
Parenting not easy lah, huh? But
it's never easy.
You will get there. And with that, I think that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next one and we'll see you then.
MUMxiety team wishes all beautiful mummies a happy Mother's Day.
Bye-bye.